Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's that girl Michelle, and I'm Michelle if you couldn't already tell. So in today's video I'm going to be giving 21 life lessons from a 21-year-old.
You make me go so loco, make me go crazy. We would make a beautiful baby.
My birthday is April 25th, and a little over 2 months ago I turned 21. So I just wanted to film this video. I wanted to film this video like since and I kind of started, but it was just not really working out. I wasn't really feeling myself, and I'm sorry in advance for the changes in the lights because I use natural light to film and I don't really understand what's going on with the weather, so please bear with me. The first lesson that I learned: circumstances change and situations change. And I think we all saw this in 2020, like the whole of 2020 just flipped in a way that no one thought was possible. I feel like we all just knew that pandemics happened, but we just didn't expect it to happen in our lifetime. So the first thing that I've learned is that it's okay for change to happen, and instead of complaining about it, it's best to just adapt and find ways that make it work for you. Embrace yourself, embrace your natural features, embrace your body, embrace your beauty, embrace your insecurities, embrace everything. Dealing with insecurities, I just had to realize that society's beauty standard is constantly changing, and if you try to fit into the beauty standards of now, you're going to be struggling every day because it's always changing. Everything happens for a reason. Instead of dwelling on the bad, try and see the good in every situation that you find yourself in. Your mental health is super important. And coming from a Nigerian who lives in Nigeria with her Nigerian parents, mental health is just not talked enough about. It's just not. For me, it's kind of different because my aunt is a psychiatrist and she's slowly teaching everyone in my family that prevention is better than cure. I feel like I never really struggled with mental health, but then at the same time I feel like I was always struggling with it, but just always moving faster than my pace so that I wouldn't have to deal with it. If I was alone for too long and it was quiet for too long, then I'm going to start freaking out. I need to be out, active, doing something. And then this period that I just had to be at home, it was just the worst. I put up a video, I'm going to link it up here, where I talked about like why I disappeared the first time, and I think I talked a little bit more about my mental health at the time. But now that I know, like, you have to take care of your mental health the way you take care of your physical body by taking drugs and everything, you have to treat yourself, nourish your mental health with the same precision and care. Self-love is ultimate. Self-love is ultimate. Self-love is ultimate. It's a journey. It's not a one-day thing. It's not just like you make the decision now and then tomorrow you're going to love yourself completely. It's a step-by-step process that you need to undergo every single day to train yourself to love you. You need to be your biggest supporter. You need to be your biggest fan. You need to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to seek validation in yourself and in your goals and in everything that you decide for yourself, and not in a relationship or in your parents or in your friends. Like, don't seek validation outside of you and God. Be unapologetically you. Like, live every day to satisfy yourself. Stop thinking about, oh, what will people say? People are going to talk regardless, and that's something that I'm so glad that I learned really early on. Whether you do something or you don't do something, people are going to talk. If you want to start this business and you're afraid that, oh, what will people say? People are going to talk about how you never started the business. When you start the business, people are going to talk about who does she think she is. You actually have to be unapologetically you, because living your life for somebody else is just going to hurt you in the long run, and it's only weird till it's not. If you start working out, for example, it's weird for the first week or two when everybody's seeing you, like, who is she? I know she's going to stop, but then when you keep on doing it for like a month, 2 months, everyone's just like, oh, that's just what she does. It's only weird till it's not. Just like Queen Bee said, you're that bitch when you cause all these conversations. So people are going to talk. I feel like you even made it once people start talking about you, because for me to be living in your mind rent free, then who really won? What you feed your mind is actually going to affect you in your daily lives. I know people like to say that, oh, the songs I listen to or the books I read don't really affect me, but I think it does. Like, low key, it really does affect you. And so you have to feed your mind with like positive things or good things or the things that you want to see in yourself. Be open-minded to new perspectives. Like, be open-minded to new cultures or people's cultures, people's language, people's way of life, people's traditions. Instead of judging them, why don't you try learning from them? I've learned to adapt to the situation that I'm in. Like, I don't always have to carry every single thing that I know and enter there and be so like closed-minded. It's just good to open up and learn different people's traditions and cultures, because there are so many things from other people's cultures and traditions that I know I am living in, like I have taken into my own life, and I do that on a daily basis. So yeah, be open to new perspectives. Take care of your body. We don't do that enough. Like, at some point it was even like a flex to brag about, oh, I stay up all night, I'm a night owl, I don't even sleep, I don't need sleep, I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. I don't know why that's a flex. I'm never going to lie, I definitely was part of those people. It was definitely a flex to me, but now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why am I actually doing this to myself? Why am I only getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep? It doesn't make sense, especially if you can't sleep. Like, if you don't have a problem sleeping, it's one thing if you like need pills and everything to sleep, but I'm saying that if you can't sleep with no problem, then why like stay up all night? So take care of your body. You're not going to be young forever. I'm definitely making the conscious effort to take care of my body more and more on a daily basis. I feel like I'm rapping because, you know, anyways. This one is one that I'm kind of sad to admit, but mother knows best. Mother knows best, most of the time at least. And this is not just pertaining to mothers alone, like also your dad is under that umbrella as well. There are so many things that my mom told me to do that I would not listen, because I just wanted to feel in control, and I felt like if I went with what she was telling me, then I was letting her control me. Till this day, there's this one major life decision that I had to make when I was younger, and I'm going to make a whole video about that. That one just irks me so much every time I think about it. But she did advise me to go one way, and I went the complete left. I went the complete opposite, and I was like, no, you're not going to control my life. This is going to determine what I do for the rest of my life, and I'm not going to let you have that control over it. Till this day, I still regret it. I regret the decision that I made. I should have listened to my mom, but instead of just like dwelling in my regrets, I'm definitely finding a way to make it work for me. And that just goes back to, like, you know, you have to adapt. You have to adapt, because dwelling in the sadness, dwelling in the bad, dwelling in the situation or in the things that didn't work out the way you wanted it to just leaves you sad. Back to what I was saying. Believe it or not, your clothing actually elevates your mood. It makes a difference. I started getting up and taking the extra effort to like shower, clean up my environment, and then dress up, just get ready for the day, not just stay in bed all day. My mood actually started being so much better once I would do all these other things. Like, once I would actually follow my morning routine and do things, then I would just feel so much happier. I would feel like I've done something for today. Do you understand? Like, it didn't make me feel so bleh. Do you get what I mean? I hope you do. Impulsive spending helps nobody. And I actually feel like we all have the tendency to buy things in case you would use them. Oh, I'm going to buy this in case I need this. I'm going to buy this in case I need this. And then we end up not needing it. There's so many useless things that I've bought along the years. I don't even know where they are, because they're just so irrelevant. I don't know why I did that to myself. I knew deep down in my heart of hearts that I wouldn't use it, but you know what? I was just buying it for in case reasons. And right now I wish I could sell it and get my money back, because I haven't used it in many years, and it just wasted. It was just a waste. Start career prep early. Don't wait for life to come at you and hit you, or don't wait for you to be faced with deadlines before you start prepping for something that you want. Start thinking about what you want. Start thinking about what you want early, and start like looking at the steps that you need to take to get what you want, and start doing them, because in the long run it makes life just so much easier. For example, there are lots of scholarship options that I was looking at, and I barely meet any of the requirements, and these are things that I could have done in my free time, but because I didn't prep for it, I have to start like working to meet up with those requirements. I wish I started prepping earlier on. Now, I know this might be contradictory to like my last point, but it's okay to not have everything figured out. For the longest time, I was always in that mental state of I don't know what I want. I know that right now where I am is not where I want to be. It's not what I want to be doing. But at the same time, I don't have anything else. There's nothing that I dream of. I don't have any passion per se in anything else. Like, what am I going to do? It was always such a crippling mentality, and that would just leave me so overwhelmed to the point of nothingness. Like, I would do absolutely nothing about it. I'll just be like, okay, you know what, this thought or this train of thought is stressing me out, so I'm just going to leave it and go and do something else. In the long run, that never helped. Like, just leaving it completely there just always would take me back to my starting point once I started thinking about these things again. So what I learned to do was start small. I would start with daily goals that would then progress into short-term goals that would then progress into long-term goals. No one can be an island. You actually need other people for different things in your life, and in as much as you love being independent and you always want to do things on your own, you can't actually go through life like that. You're dependent on people to get you to where you are. Even if you're a business owner, you're dependent on your customers to actually purchase your product or service to elevate you. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot just sit down and say, okay, you know what, from now on I'm going to do everything in this life on my own. It doesn't work. It's not possible, and it's actually very lonely and stressful. I've learned to open my mouth and ask for help, because most of the time my friends or the people around me actually have answers to my problems, and I would never know if I just never opened my mouth. I actually have like a real life testimony about this, and it's kind of long, but just know that it definitely works, it definitely helps, and talking about your problem helps so much. Don't sell yourself short in anything that you do. I'm a strong believer in learning on the job, whether it's an actual job or it's an experience or whatever you want to do. Don't ever sell yourself short. Talk like you actually know what you're saying, because most of the time people are actually underqualified for a lot of things that they go for, but they get it because not enough people tried, or you didn't sell yourself well. No is a good enough response. No is a good enough answer. Just saying no. It has been difficult learning how to say no without like immediately backing up with like a long ass explanation on why I'm saying no. There are just so many things in life that you don't have to waste your time explaining. Just say no and it's okay. Your own time is different. Your path is different. Your goals is different. Your success story is different. It is really easy in today's world to just look at other people and compare yourself, and comparison is a thief of joy. We all know this, but that doesn't really stop us from comparing ourselves. It didn't stop me. As long as you're consistent in whatever you're doing, you're going to actually make it. Go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated. In today's world, the word friend is used so loosely, like everybody's your friend. I don't even understand. Let's normalize the use of classmates, the use of colleagues, the use of acquaintance instead of friend, because not everybody is your friend. And if you convince yourself that everybody you meet or everyone you have a nice conversation with is your friend, then you're just going to end up digging yourself in a very deep hole, because you then surround yourself with people that don't actually care about you, and just people that tolerate you. Friendships can end. Friendships do expire, and friendships can end on a good note as well. Not every friend is toxic. Not every situation was toxic. Maybe that friend or that friendship was supposed to just last to teach you a lesson, and you've learned that life lesson. Now it's time to move on. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries and stick with it. Set your boundaries with everything and everyone that comes into your life, even from the little things. In fact, it's those little things that you shouldn't be emphasizing that boundary on, because if someone comes into your life and they cannot respect something that is apparently so little, then what makes you think they're going to respect you in the long run? What makes you think that they're going to respect your bigger boundaries? It goes hand in hand with knowing your self-worth. Now this takes me to my next point. Know your self-worth, sis. Know your self-worth. Once you know who you are and what you can tolerate in your life and what you cannot tolerate in your life, you're going to be set. I mean, knowing your self-worth is going to leave your phone dry as heck, because you just know that you cannot be accepting this type of people in your life. You don't even want to be talking. You don't want to entertain this type of conversations. You're going to leave your phone dry as hell, but it's going to leave you stress-free. Know your self-worth, set your boundaries, and don't worry, there are people that are going to be able to live up to those standards. There are people that are going to be able to live up to those boundaries. So even if right now you're not finding yourself around those people that are living up to those standards and you feel like your standards are too high, leave it there. Keep it. Leave that boundary where it is, because you're going to meet people that can actually live up to it. And then you know that, okay, yes, this is the quality of friendships that I want to have. These are the quality of people that I want to have in my life, and they're going to come. There's this saying that I got from a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Tumi Moliko. I love her so much. I'll leave a link to her channel down in my description box. But she said, people will know your self-worth and hope that you do, so that they can treat you however they want to treat you. And that is so true. Have you noticed that there are some people that you can do things to and you know you're going to get away with it, but there's some other people that you cannot even try that, and that's just because they've set their boundaries, and so now you know. Okay, yeah, so we come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I actually hope you stayed up to this point, you watch it to the end, because I kind of have a feeling it's going to be a long video, and it's my OGs that watch it to the end. But don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. I love hearing what you guys think about my videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.